There's a particular kind of purchase that looks responsible on the surface, feels like a reward for working hard, and quietly destroys your ability to build wealth for the next 5 to 7 years. It's not a luxury watch. It's not a vacation you put on a credit card. It's a car loan. More specifically, it's the $50,000 SUV sitting in your driveway right now, or the one you're seriously considering, that comes with a monthly payment that isn't that bad. Today, we're going to walk through exactly how this purchase works, why it feels so reasonable in the moment, and what it actually costs you over time. Not in some abstract way, but with real numbers, real salaries, and real consequences. Let's start with a story. Meet James. He's 29, lives in Denver, Colorado, works in tech sales, makes $75,000 a year before taxes. After federal and state taxes, health insurance, and his 401k contribution, James takes home about $4,200 a month. That's roughly $50,000 a year in actual spending money. He's not rich, but he's doing better than most people his age. And after a few years of driving a beat-up Honda Civic, he decides it's time for an upgrade. He wants something reliable, something that feels like progress. So he walks into a dealership and finds a beautiful SUV. Sticker price, $52,000. The salesman is friendly. He doesn't pressure James. He just runs the numbers. With your credit score, we can get you financed at 6.5% over 72 months. Your payment comes out to about $850 a month. Plus insurance, let's say you're looking at around $1,050 total per month. James does the mental math. $1,050 out of $4,200, that's about 25%. High, but not insane. He's heard you shouldn't go over 30%. And honestly, it feels like he's earned this. He signs. Now let's talk about what actually just happened. Here's what James didn't calculate. Over 6 years, he will pay approximately $61,000 for that car. That includes the principal, the interest, and insurance. But the car won't be worth $61,000 in 6 years. It'll be worth maybe $28,000 if he's lucky. So right there, he's losing $33,000 in value. That's more than half his annual take-home pay. Gone. Not spent on experiences, not invested, just evaporated. But it gets worse, because that $1,050 a month isn't just $1,050, it's $1,050 he can't invest. If James had bought a $15,000 used car instead and invested that same $850 per month into a simple index fund earning 8% annually, he'd have around $75,000 after 6 years. Let me say that again. The difference between buying the $52,000 SUV and a reliable used car isn't just the cost of the vehicle. It's 6 years of compounding growth you never get back. By the time James is 35, he'll own a depreciating asset worth $28,000. The alternate version of James, the one who made a different choice, would have $75,000 in investments and a car that still runs. That's a $47,000 gap, and that gap grows every single year after that. So why do smart people like James make this decision? Because the monthly payment feels manageable. $850 doesn't sound crazy when you're making over $4,000 a month. It's framed as affordable, and in the moment, it is. But affordability and good decision are not the same thing. The dealership, the bank, the entire system is designed to focus you on one number, the monthly payment, not the total cost, not the opportunity cost, not what else you could do with that money. And there's another layer, identity. In the US and much of Europe, your car is part of how you're perceived. It signals success. It says, I'm doing okay. And when you've worked hard to get to $75,000 a year, you want something that reflects that. The problem is, the people who actually build wealth don't think this way. Financially intelligent people ask a different question. They don't ask, can I afford the payment? They ask, what is this actually costing me, and is there a better use for this money? They understand that wealth isn't built by looking wealthy. It's built by keeping the gap between what you earn and what you spend as wide as possible for as long as possible. That doesn't mean driving a rusted-out car to prove a point. It means buying a $12,000 to $18,000 used vehicle that's reliable, safe, and invisible. It means treating your car like transportation, not a statement. And then taking the difference, the $600, $700, $800 you're not spending, and letting it grow. Because that's where real optionality comes from. Not from the thing in your driveway, but from the balance in your brokerage account that gives you choices later. The $50,000 car isn't evil. It's just expensive in ways most people don't calculate until it's too late. And the middle-class debt trap isn't about one decision. It's about a series of decisions that all seem reasonable in isolation, but collectively keep you running in place. The good news is, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that awareness is the first step to making different choices. If this perspective helped you think a little more clearly about your own finances, consider subscribing. We do this every week. Thanks for watching.